Gather round. It's time for your Real Estate Chalk Talk with the Hittner Group at Coldwell Banker Burnett.
Hey, welcome to the program. This is your Real Estate Chalk Talk. We're broadcasting from the Rack Shack Barbecue Studios, back in the studio with our first show of 2016. RealEstateChalkTalk.com is your resource with search tools and our vendor partners, all the contact information that you need to help you get that home ready for sale. And always call us 612-627-8000. That's the number to call. Remember, we can't help you if you don't call 612-627-8000, so call today. I'm Keith Hittner Sr. here in studio with Keith Hittner Jr. and the money man, Kelvin Kaemingk, with little known secrets on how to help he can get the best
how he can help something.
The best home loan mortgage rate. Hey, it's a new year, and all the training sessions are in. You're doing your planning meetings and all that stuff, right, Calvin?
Done with that.
The best thing that you can do is feed your staff some nice mouth-watering Rack Shack barbecue. It's the best thing that you can possibly do. It's good for the bottom line, and it's a fringe benefit that all your employees will enjoy getting. 612-326-0430 is the hotline number. 612-326-0430. It's really easy. Just call that number, and old Elliot, he'll hook you up with something that work within your budget. Remember, Rack Shack Barbecue is America's food, and it's the right thing to do. And with us this week, we've got Mike Sandus is back with Wow One Day Painting. He's going to talk all about those January painting projects, January and February painting projects, and plus he said he's got about 20 minutes of other stuff that he's got to go through. I don't know if we'll have all the time that we need for him, but we'll give him as much time as we possibly can. Emily Hanley is in the studio. She's on the camera today. Not going to talk on the show, but she's running the camera as a stand-in, so we got some experience with camera videography. So remember, we're on Facebook. And we're on Facebook at Real Estate Chalk Talk as a Facebook page, and go to the Real Estate Chalk Talk YouTube channel, and you can watch the show in person if you want to see our shining faces on YouTube. And Katie Lindenfessler with Crescent Cove.
Wow.
That's a name, isn't it?
Nice work.
It's Lindenfessler.
That's just for you, Senior.
Lindenfelser. That's what it is.
We'll ask her.
Lindenfelser. I want to say it because I want to say it correctly, and then I'll say, "Did I say your name correctly?" And she'll say, "Yes." No, hardly
No one
anyone,
ever
no
says
one
it
ever
right.
does. Katie Lindenfelser is going to be in the second hour. She's with Crescent Cove, a nonprofit. The mission of Crescent Cove is to offer care and support to children and young adults with a shortened life expectancy and their families. So we wanted to have a nonprofit group that we are working with and helping, because it's part of the more well-rounded, really real estate business that we talk. We go through life cycles with people from when they're first met, they first fall in love, they get married, they have some kids, they buy a house, they move up. Crises happen to people, and we don't disappear at that time. We like to stay engaged with the families for in for the long haul, lifetime relationships with people. And Crescent Cove is a way that we help, and I think it'll be a very interesting conversation. I hope you appreciate it too. Keith Reno, what do you got for us?
Today we're going to talk about some new listings that will be coming on the market here in the coming months. We're going to talk about the city of Eagan. Eagan's the city that in which we live. We have some fun properties that are coming on the market there, and then we'll talk a little bit about how the market went last year. Once all final numbers come in, then we'll have a full wrap up, but we'll give you a little preview of that. And Calvin actually has some information about some new loan program that is available to us and to our buyers and helpful for our sellers that we'll be chatting about today too. Calvin, isn't that right?
That is right. We're going to start with a playback from our last show on predictions of the Fed raising rates and your total
That wasn't the
dismissal.
last show, by the way.
It was the last show I was on.
A month ago.
It's the last show I was on. So we'll talk about your total dismissal of what the Fed did. We'll talk about how you raise your credit score 40 points in 40 minutes. We're going to talk about the $1.71 per gallon of gas that I paid this week and see how that impacts your mortgage interest rates. We're going to touch on the jobs report. We're going to talk about a new program that helps buyers get into their home faster. And then we're going to talk about what happened on New Year's Eve as we went into the new year regarding taxes. And we'll talk a little bit about our 2016 predictions of the market.
Awesome. Big show.
2016 predictions of the market. One thing that when you play that clip. I know that you've carefully edited it. I want you to also include the part of the clip where I forecast what the result of that increase will be and how the market will crash. And I think this week kind of bears that out, that I was absolutely correct in that forecast.
In part of it.
In part of it.
That's great.
What'd you guys do over? No, we've been off for 2 weeks. What'd you guys do the last 2 weeks?
I don't
if you're
even
off?
know.
Take any time?
I was thinking in my head, and when you mix in so much personal activity, it kind of, your brain kind of gets jumbled up. It's great to kind of check out a little bit and sit down with friends and family over the holiday, but it feels like work is a little bit more sparse during that time. And it's frankly nice for me to get back into a normal groove with my kids, and normal groove with family. So we spent a lot of time with family over the last couple of weeks, which is great. Great to check in at the end of the year. Not the only time we check in, but it's nice to spend a lot of time with family over that time. But getting back into the swing of things, really.
Especially when you consider the fact that we work together, live in the same
Well, that's
town,
just you.
own a couple businesses together.
That's just you.
Yeah, we see each
That's
other
nice to see you
every
again.
single day.
Yeah, nice to see you again. But
It's a different conversation.
yeah, I have four
right?
siblings. Almost all of us have children, and so just a small get together for us and our family is about 35 people. So that on top of extended family, it can be very large, entertaining, and activities going on. So it's fun to do that. I wouldn't like to do it every week. It's a little overwhelming, but it's nice to be back into a normal groove.
Yeah, our routine was a little different this year. My daughter came back, which was great, and it was great
Came
to have
back
her.
from where?
She was in Orlando, Florida, with YWAM Youth with a Mission, and now she's over in Athens, Greece. And so we talked with her yesterday, and they're working in a Syrian refugee camp, 3-level building, and they don't understand restrooms there, and so they
Don't understand restrooms?
No, a lot of them don't. The refugees coming over, so they'll do their business everywhere in that bathroom. Stuff is plugged. They'll use the sinks as. It was
Alrighty then.
Yeah. So yesterday he said, "Hey, what'd you guys do?" She said, "We got masked up and said we cleaned it." And she said the environment shifted just because we were there to serve, because they're not fond of Americans always. So she said it was amazing, their opportunity to witness and share their faith in Jesus Christ once they cleaned their bathrooms all day. So it's pretty interesting. So she's over there now. She's gone until March. So our time was short with her. We only had about 6 days with her, so that was awesome, and then really hard, so we're anxious for her to come back the first part of March. And so that was good. Basketball's back on. My son, as you remember, broke his foot. He played his first game this past week at New Life Academy, so it's fun to have him back, and my other son playing basketball, and I coach his team. So it's been busy, but I'm so happy, like you, just to be back in the routine and back to work. I get nervous, kind of going, "Oh man, are we even gonna? I wonder.
We're gonna work this year.
I wonder if we even have phones left. I wonder if somebody turn.
Yeah. But
So
it turns back on, and it turns back on quick.
is,
We'll talk about some
yeah.
listings that are coming on the market, things that Senior has, I have, the rest of the team have that are coming on the market. So you don't have to be too patient. It's coming right now.
Oh, I know, it's busy again, which is great.
I always have these great expectations of what I'm going to do for the last couple of weeks of December, and kind of over the break when we're running rerun shows and stuff, and I have so much just computer work to do. I can't get over it. Just I keep track of stuff, so I'm changing our spreadsheets and how we do our analytics and all of that, and you make one little change and it takes you an hour to change all the corresponding formulas. I found that out by mistake. I did it incorrectly, and 4 hours later I finally fixed.
Man.
Well, the technology is supposed to make our lives easier, right?
Oh man, hard deal. Say, you mentioned something, Kelvin. I just want to follow up with it, and Emily, you should write this down, because you said New Life Academy, okay? And you send your kids to private school.
Faithful Shepherd.
I think I would like to do a show sometime and get some guests on here from private schools, because people don't understand or realize, I think, how many private schools there are in the Twin City area, and even in the southern Twin City area, different communities, Catholic schools, just straight private schools.
Yeah, there's 4 or 5 within probably 2 miles of my home in Egan.
And we just sold a house this week to a gentleman in this family, and the driver was they needed to get closer to that private school because they drive their kids every day to school. And so, there's a move in the clustering around these schools of people who live in community around that school. And it's an interesting dynamic. I know that you have a lot of friends in the school that your kids go to.
Yeah,
and
it's a nice
socialize
community
with them,
for sure.
and just how that all develops as opposed to a public school system. So I just think it'd be a great.
Well, it'll be fun to talk about when we come back from break. We'll get into it. We'll get into some real estate and mortgage talk with myself, Senior, and Kelvin Kaemingk. We have Mike Sandness here, and we're going to talk a little bit about his painting business as well. This is your Real Estate Chalk Talk, 612-627-8000.